Unpacking Real Estate Investment Opportunities in Guyana, 5 Essential Considerations for Investors. Guyana, a small South American nation with a very Caribbean culture, is bordered by the Atlantic Ocean to the north, Brazil to the south and southwest, Venezuela to the west, and Suriname to the east, and has quite recently captured the attention of global investors. Not long ago, Guyana was a largely overlooked market, but its economic fortunes have been transformed by the discovery of vast offshore oil reserves. This new wealth has begun to ripple through the country, creating fresh opportunities across a number of sectors, including real estate. As investment pours in, Georgetown and the emerging urban corridors along the east coast Demerara are experiencing swift development. For the enterprising real estate investor, Guyana now offers the potential for substantial returns. But as with any frontier market, it also presents unique challenges and risks that must be navigated with care. This guide unpacks Guyana's real estate landscape and highlights 5 top things to be aware of before making an investment. The allure of Guyana's real estate market. Historically, Guyana's property market has been relatively underdeveloped, with most transactions taking place among local buyers and sellers. The dramatic shift brought on by oil discoveries, beginning in 2015 and accelerating in recent years, has brought economic growth rates among the highest in the world. The IMF projected Guyana's GDP growth to be north of 20% in recent years, driven largely by oil revenues. This new wealth has begun to ripple through the country, creating fresh opportunities across a number of sectors, including real estate. As investment pours in, Georgetown and the emerging urban corridors along the east coast Demerara are experiencing swift development. For the enterprising real estate investor, Guyana now offers the potential for substantial returns. But, as with any frontier market, it also presents unique challenges and risks that must be navigated with care. This guide unpacks Guyana's real estate landscape and highlights 5 top things to be aware of before making an investment. Real estate investment opportunities in Guyana. Residential developments. As the population grows and living standards improve, demand for modern housing is outpacing supply. Both middle-income and upscale developments, including gated communities, are seeing increased attention. Commercial and office space. The influx of international oil companies and supporting businesses has led to a shortage of prime office space. Investors with the ability to develop or refurbish commercial properties in urban areas can benefit from long-term leases and rising rental yields. Hospitality and tourism. Guyana's ecotourism potential is immense, with the country's rainforests, rivers, and wildlife attracting growing numbers of tourists. Hotels, lodges, and eco-resorts, especially those close to natural attractions, are seeing increased investment. Retail and mixed-use developments. Rising affluence and the arrival of global brands are spurring demand for modern retail centers, supermarkets, and mixed-use properties that combine commercial, residential, and entertainment spaces. Land banking and agricultural ventures. For those with a longer-term horizon, acquiring undeveloped land or agricultural estates can be attractive, particularly in areas slated for future infrastructure projects or urban expansion. 5 things to be aware of when investing in real estate in Guyana. 1. Legal framework and land ownership. Guyana's property rights regime is rooted in English common law, but the system can be complex to navigate for foreigners. There are 2 main forms of land tenure: transport, a deed system dating from Dutch colonial times, and certificate of title, a more modern land registration system. Due diligence is critical, as land records may not always be digitized or easily accessible, and boundary disputes can be common. Foreigners are allowed to own property outright in Guyana, but the process of purchasing land or buildings can be slow, particularly if government approvals are required. It is essential to work with reputable local attorneys and real estate professionals to verify title, clear any liens, and manage the conveyancing process. Investors should be aware that squatting, informal occupation of land without legal title, remains an issue in some areas and could complicate transactions. 2. Regulatory environment and transparency. Guyana is working to modernize its regulatory environment, but bureaucracy and inconsistent enforcement of regulations can still pose challenges. Building permits, environmental clearances, and planning approvals may take longer than anticipated, and corruption is not unheard of. Transparency International ranks Guyana as improving, but still facing issues with public sector transparency. Investors should budget extra time and resources for compliance and rely on local partners familiar with government processes. Careful documentation and patience are virtues in this market. 3. Infrastructure and utilities. Despite rapid development, Guyana's infrastructure is still catching up with its new economic reality. Roads, drainage, and public utilities, electricity, water, sewage, and internet can be unreliable, especially outside central urban areas. New developments may require significant investment in connecting to reliable infrastructure or providing backup power and water solutions. For commercial and hospitality projects, proximity to good infrastructure is vital for both operations and asset value. Investors should conduct thorough due diligence on existing and planned infrastructure in any target location and include contingency budgets for improvements or private solutions. 4. Market dynamics and valuation. The Guyana's real estate market remains relatively illiquid, with fewer formal market listings and valuations than more mature markets. Price discovery can be challenging, and overvaluation is a risk, particularly in the wake of a rapid influx of international capital seeking first-mover advantage. Comprehensive market research is necessary, including consultation with local agents, developers, and financial institutions. Investors should be prepared for the possibility of longer holding periods to realize capital gains, as resale markets may take time to mature. 5. Socio-political stability and economic risks. While Guyana has enjoyed a period of relative political stability, it remains a young democracy with a history of political tensions. Changes in government policy, particularly regarding foreign investment, taxation, or environmental regulation, can impact real estate returns. Additionally, the country's rapid transformation into an oil economy brings both opportunities and risks, including inflation, income inequality, and social pressures. Investors should stay informed about the local political climate and engage with reputable legal and advisory firms to mitigate risks. Diversifying investments and maintaining a flexible approach can help weather any unexpected changes in the business environment. Conclusion: seizing the opportunity. In conclusion, Guyana's real estate market holds undeniable promise for investors willing to navigate its complexities. The country's newfound wealth, urbanization, and growing engagement with the world economy create a dynamic environment for residential, commercial, and tourism-based projects. However, the idiosyncrasies of land ownership, infrastructure development, and regulatory processes demand careful due diligence and local expertise. For those able to take a patient, informed, and strategic approach, investing in Guyana's real estate sector could yield significant returns and play a role in shaping the country's future development. As with any emerging market, success depends on understanding the landscape, forging strong partnerships, and remaining adaptable to change. By keeping these 5 key considerations in mind, investors can maximize their chances of success and contribute positively to Guyana's unfolding story.